All right. So today I'm here talking with Riley. Riley is a singer-songwriter working
Mm.
on some original music, also just doing some covers on YouTube and everything like that. How are you doing today, Riley?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. So I kind of tried to give you a little introduction. What else? What else do you want people to know about you and about
Um,
what you're up to?
well, I don't. I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I'm a singer-songwriter. I am 22. I my whole brand's kind of just about being authentic and kind of, you know, trying to go through life, connecting with others, and trying to find a way to do that through music. So I
Yeah.
post, yeah, just like a lot of covers and a lot. I'm starting to in the process of releasing some originals. So
Okay.
that's fun. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I just really want people to um, have like a safe place with me and my page and my music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that you can really tell just from seeing your content and even, following you on social media and things like that, that you're all about kind of that community feel and you want people to feel like they can, relate to you and things that you're singing about and that we all go through similar things and that, it's okay to go through hard times or, there's going to be good times and bad times in life. And I think it's cool that, you're pretty open about both the good and the bad.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
tried just because I think growing up there was a lot of just like a lot of role models. I think in the time period, I was born in '96, so just like
Right.
kind of through the early 2000s, I think it was really easy for tabloids and media just to make every kind of gloss everything over, if that makes sense. And no one was
Yeah.
ever really super open about their struggles.
Right.
Um, so yeah, that's just always kind of been my goal is to be as honest as I can be with everything.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that the authenticity, it's like social media, in general, it's just you see a small sliver of our lives where it's
Right,
like the vacations, the, cool dates, the
right.
best friends, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's so much of our lives that we choose not to show because it's the tough parts, it's the sad parts, it's the parts that we think are boring or other people think will be boring. So yeah, I like
Right.
that you said, you want to kind of show all those sides of it.
Yeah.
Something that I know that we've talked about before is just that, like, when I think of the kind of content you put out and just you as a person, I see you as someone that is going to be able to make a big impact on younger people, especially I'd say, younger girls or females, just
Yeah.
kind of being an empowering, motivational, inspirational kind of person.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah, of
really hope
course.
so.
Yeah. So I guess my question is then, since I kind of see you in that light and that's kind of a goal that you have,
Right.
who were those people for you? Like, I
That's
guess early
actually
on and even now.
that's a really good question. Well, okay, well first I have to give credit in my family. I'm Hispanic, so just kind of in
Okay.
our culture,
Yeah.
like empowering female figures are a really big deal. So kind
Yeah.
of, my mom and my grandma and my aunts and like just kind of all the females in my family are just
Okay.
these kind of firecracker, take no BS kind of attitudes,
Okay. Yeah.
And that always was kind of ingrained in me that there's no, I don't even know how to explain it right, but basically that you can run the show.
Right.
And
Okay.
I always wanted to bring that into other people's lives too because it's funny because growing up I would tell people about or they would even meet my family and the general thought about it was just like they'd all be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're so headstrong, they're so independent, it's so cool, their personalities are
Right.
so big." And I was like, "Oh, I thought just I just thought everybody's families were like that."
Right.
So yeah, so they really just taught me to kind of not be passive and really use my voice for good things.
Okay.
But teacher wise, there was a couple of people growing up that really like, the theaters that I trained at, the dance
Yeah.
studios that I trained at. A lot of those were all run by females too. Like they were
Yeah.
owned by females. So for me, it was like that was so cool to see, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say just like watching all these women in business and in my own
Yeah.
personal life just kind of killing the show and wanting to be like them one day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. So I don't always like saying like, comparisons like, oh, who do you think you're like or
Yeah,
who do you want to be like? But
right,
I
right.
mean, for people that maybe haven't, discovered you yet or haven't heard you sing or your
Yeah.
style, I guess who would you say like that's out these
Okay.
days that you would like that you kind of see like your vibe or like you want to kind of be like or kind of
Yeah.
have that same style?
Well, that's a really good question. I know it's weird to ask because everybody's always not wanting to compare themselves to anybody.
Right, right, for
You know,
sure.
I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different artists, but
Okay.
for me recently, Ariana Grande is amazing. Like
Yeah,
Ariana Grande, Jessie J. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she
yeah,
is. Oh my gosh, she's nuts.
fantastic.
Yeah. Or I say Ari, Jessie J. Obviously, Beyonce's a given. Rihanna,
Yeah,
though, I really love.
okay.
And also, I think it's cool that Camila Cabello has brought like kind of the
Yeah,
Latin music into pop
yeah,
culture more so, you know.
yeah, totally.
So she's cool too. But yeah, just kind of any really like female powerhouse pop singer you can think of is probably what I'm influenced by.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was gonna say it's funny that you brought up Camila Cabello because definitely there I see a little
Yeah.
comparisons there, and then even just knowing her style, I guess since she kind of broke off from Fifth Harmony is a little
Right.
more kind of like dance and like putting on
Right.
a performance, not just singing. And I know that I've seen you have some posts and stuff of dancing, and I know that you have
Mhm.
that background. Is that something that you want to do as well? Like, do you want to have like the full like performance going
Yeah.
on?
So it's funny because I don't really like showcase it as much as I should, but growing
Uh-huh.
up, I did competition dance like my entire childhood, so I was
Okay.
really, really involved in dance, and I did all styles, ballet,
Uh-huh.
tap, jazz, point, hip
Yeah.
hop, everything. So yeah, it definitely plays a role in just kind of how I see music because I really do think of everything not only just the audio of it, but I think of things visually a lot.
Right.
But yeah, no, for sure, like stage shows and things like that. I definitely want to be dancing and moving and have it not just be a concert, but a performance,
Yeah, totally.
Like that kind of different aspect that I just watched. I don't know if you've seen it. Beyonce's Homecoming Netflix show. It's like her entire performance of her Coachella performance.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Like just watching her do the choreography that she's doing
Yeah.
mixed with the vocals that she's producing, it's insane. But that's the
Yeah.
level I'd want to, get to someday. Or J
Totally.
Lo, that kind of type. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could definitely see you in that kind of wheelhouse, just
Yeah.
with like the full performance, just the stage presence, the vocals, everything.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
that's awesome.
The goal for sure.
Totally, and definitely one that I, I'm more than confident that you'll achieve.
Thanks.
So when when it comes to singing covers,
Hmm.
how do you feel about that? Like, do you like singing covers because it's, just cool music and you like
Yeah.
you're putting your own take on it, or are you someone that's kind of like, I'd rather do my own and like be my
See,
own person, an artist?
it's interesting because when I first started, I was really kind of like I refused to do any covers. It was all original, and that's all I.
Okay, okay,
But kind of the older I got, I started doing more live shows, and
yeah,
I was actually in a Latin band for a while, and we did a lot of covers of like popular songs, but we did our own take on them.
okay,
And I think for now, at least, I think it's a cool way to reimagine content.
yeah,
Like an example would be, I don't know if you saw I did I Like It by Cardi B.
yeah, yeah, that,
Yeah, that video is a good example of it because, she, in her obviously original recording, she's rapping and it's
right,
that consistently throughout the song.
right,
But when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, obviously I'm not a rapper, so how can I make this my own?
right,
So I was like, okay, cool. Let's think like big powerhouse vocals, but then add in some silky like Spanish verses,
Yeah.
like do, but make it kind of more melodic instead of,
Yeah. Definitely.
And so that process is fun for me to kind of reimagine songs, but originals obviously have my heart because it's just like
Right.
more personal and obviously
Right.
to you. So
Okay. Awesome. So I know you mentioned your Cardi B cover of I Like It.
hmm
What is your favorite cover that you've done?
um honestly, I don't know. I right now I think it's that one just
Okay.
because I had so much fun making it. I just remember that day specifically, I was actually going to record a whole different song. And
Okay.
I started listening to that song and I was like, oh, this could be kind of cool. And I sat
Yeah.
down with it and kind of tried to just, yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, that cover just came out so naturally. And that was the
Yeah.
first time I edit my own videos and everything.
Okay.
So that was the first time I learned how to do these, like, there's these effects, like they're like cartoon drawings on me as I sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I learned how to do that.
Okay.
So it's like a cool process.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, but yeah, I'd say that one's my favorite.
Okay. Very cool. I know it's a little older, but I'd have to say the favorite that I can think of that comes to mind was your cover of Dangerous Woman.
Oh my gosh, that was the
That
first
was
one I did. That's so.
yeah, that was a little
Oh, thank you.
throwback, but just the vocals, just
Oh, that's so
crazy.
sweet. That's so funny you say that too, because I had no idea what I was doing that first one. Like,
Really?
yeah. So funny story about that video.
Yeah.
It's all in black and white, right? Which was
Right.
kind of the vibe of like vintage. The vocals are kind of crunchy because I
Yeah.
want it to sound like kind of like it was coming through a compressed mic like they did back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
But the real the real thing about it really was just that I didn't really know how to record yet.
Okay.
Um, and so I was like, okay, how can I make it sound like I know what I'm doing? And I was like, okay, we'll make it a stylistic choice. And that's what I did. So, but yeah, at
Okay.
that time it was I think that was my first video and I had no idea what I was doing at all.
Wow. Okay. Well, you fooled me.
That's awesome. I love that that's your favorite. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, it's a great song. I know you mentioned Ari's big inspiration. So
Yeah.
great artist, of course. And yeah, no, I
Okay.
think you killed it. And just I like the black and white. I was just like, yeah, it must be just a style choice.
See, it
And yeah,
worked.
it
Awesome.
worked. You fooled me. What was that, like 2 years ago? Two,
Something like that. Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
So for the last like 2 years of my life, I you fooled
Oh,
me.
that's awesome. I love it.
So what I guess can we expect, or like what's coming your way? Like I know you might not be able to give everything away, but
Yeah.
are you thinking more like covers? Are you gonna get more content like that out, or do you have some original stuff coming?
I honestly everything.
Okay.
So this whole next rest of the year, my
Yeah.
goal is to kind of just put out content, period.
Uh,
So that means, originals, covers, but I also it was kind of funny because I never really pictured myself as far as media goes as like a lifestyle type of person, you know what I mean?
right.
It was kind of always, oh, you're an artist, you should sing and talk about music related things.
Right.
But the more that my social media grew, the more I realized that people relate to all kinds of things and it's not just
Totally.
music. So yeah, it's definitely gonna have kind of a lifestyle component
Okay.
with kind of like more, personal YouTube videos, but then
Yeah.
also, things like make tutorials and that kind
Okay.
of stuff. So it's definitely gonna transform more into not just this is an artist and this is her music and this is how she sounds, but kind of this is
Okay.
who she is as a person. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. And I think, you know, with people kind of like our age and just like the when you think of other people that are kind of doing the same thing as you right now or just trying to be
Mm,
like influencers or that are, influencers,
right.
a lot of it comes from beyond what they're known for. So like they
Right.
might be a singer, but it just we seem to be so engrossed in other aspects of their lives and it just
Right.
makes them more
Yeah.
human. So it's
Mhm.
kind of cool. And I definitely think, yeah, a lot of people, younger people are kind of doing that. So I
Yeah.
totally see where you're coming from. And I think that'll be cool. I think it's always cool when you can learn more about just artists or, people that you look up to on more of a personal level and see
Right.
kind of what they do and what even like a normal day is like for them.
Right. right, it just kind of changes the whole perspective of this is someone who I'm looking at through a screen to, this is someone I could hang out with in real life.
Exactly. Totally. So I know it sounds like you have a lot coming up, and that's awesome to hear. And I know you said you edit your own videos and everything.
Yeah,
Now, are you basically doing everything
I'm
on your
literally,
own right now?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's probably one of the most challenging things is,
Yeah.
you know, every video that you see, every, songs for the most part, I'm writing every single lyric, I'm writing every melody. As far
Yeah.
as production goes on the songs, I have people to help me obviously make the beats and stuff like that because I'm still learning that part of it. That part I'm
Right.
not fantastic at yet, but yeah, everything's handwritten. Like every single lyric is me, every melody is me. I don't have
Okay.
co-writers. I'm filming everything myself,
Okay.
editing all the videos myself, recording all the audio myself. Like everything is,
All
uh,
you.
yeah, it's all me, which is nice. It's cool
Yeah.
to be so hands-on with details and projects, but it definitely can get overwhelming sometimes when there's just so much to do.
Totally. Yeah. So I think something that's interesting, something that I've gone through and go through that's a little different than you, I'm figuring, but kind of similar, is just like the writing process. So for
Yeah,
me with writing books, there's, the rough drafts, the 20 other drafts, and then the final kind of version that you have of it. What does your writing process typically look like? Is there like a set, I guess,
it's
rhythm, or does it just kind of happen?
it's different for every song, and it kind of depends on the topic. So I have what
Uh,
I call a scratch book,
yeah.
and this is really like a random detail, but I'm really a perfectionist, and I have a lot of issues with like just letting it kind of flow as it comes. So
Okay.
this notebook is designed for me to literally just chicken scratch everything that I
Okay.
could possibly think of, and then from there, normally I start with a melody just kind of happens, and then from there I'm like, okay, that works. What concept do I like? What's coming out? And then from there, I'll go by. And I don't necessarily write in sections. I don't really know any writers that write in like, okay, this is verse one, this is
Right.
pre-chorus, chorus.
Right.
Uh, Honestly, for whatever reason, verses and bridges come way easier to me than anything else. So
Okay.
that's normally the first thing that pops out. But
Okay.
yeah, I sit down and I normally will like brainstorm everything that I could possibly want to say about this concept. And then, I'll sit down with the piano or whatever it is,
Yeah.
just take it as an acoustic song and try to, put the pieces together. And I try a million different things. My voice memos app is literally my best friend. I will
Okay.
just kind of loop the song over and over and over for like 2 hours,
Yeah.
and I'll just sing and just see whatever comes out. Like I'll just keep on doing it and just see how many different things I can think of for
Okay.
whatever. And then I'll listen back to it and be like, okay, that section was cool. That did not work. That
Yeah.
was cool. How can I put this together? And then it kind of turns into this like Frankenstein of a song.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
It's
no, I like
crazy.
that. I think it's cool because I don't know if I can't exactly speak for everyone, but I've always found it fascinating how songs are written, like how the process is. And you hear like a really good song and you're like, wow, like did this take like 5 minutes in like the backseat of a car, or was it like years in the making, or
I think sometimes
like
though it's like it really is different for every song though because
yeah,
um,
totally.
this last song that I just posted a video a couple days ago of a song that I wrote, and it's just acoustic on piano. That
Uh,
specific song for me was like literally maybe I want to say 30 minutes to an hour, which is quick for
okay.
that.
Yeah, totally.
But there's some songs. There's a song that I literally didn't touch for 2 years. Like I
Okay.
could not think of anything for the song, and I came back 2 years later and finished writing the second half of the song.
Okay.
So it
It
yeah,
really just kind of depends. It sounds like it.
it depends.
Okay. So
No.
how long have you been writing?
Um, well, I mean, like good stuff probably since I was 13, but I
Okay.
started writing like songwriting for fun when I was like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was it obviously wasn't on the level it's on now, but my
Right.
grandpa passed away, and I just remember like I was so overcome with emotions. It was my first time
Yeah.
kind of losing someone. I was only 8, you know, I didn't know
Right. Right.
how to handle it, and I wrote this song for her, and it was like the best way I could think of to, you know, not only honor her but kind of find a way to get out all these emotions I was
Yeah.
feeling.
Kind of like process and everything.
It's very therapeutic, I'll tell you.
Totally. Totally. Well, that's awesome that you're able to do that. I mean, at especially like such a young age. I mean, like even at our age now, like, it's hard to talk about your feelings
Right,
and emotions, but
right,
you know, at 8 to be able to get that out lyrically,
right.
that's awesome.
It's yeah, it's interesting too, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like in my real life, I'm not super. I don't talk about a lot of emotional stuff,
Okay.
but but yeah, for whatever reason with songs, it's the way that I can, you know, get it out without it feeling like it's gonna just crush me, I guess sometimes, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of piggybacking off that, you know, you said that you in your personal life, you're maybe not always like talking about emotions and stuff. Maybe it's more of, like when you're singing, writing.
Right.
So I feel like there's this maybe misconception or just like this idea that people like yourself who are, you know, posting videos of singing or, you know, talking about whatever, that they're
Right.
very outgoing, super like
Ah.
energetic people. Like,
Uh-huh.
would you say like the real like personal life you is that like
So
extrovert?
yeah, it's interesting. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah.
I think I mean I definitely would say I'm an extrovert, but
Okay.
I think I'm a forced extrovert, if that makes sense. Like I
Okay.
think I have a lot of social anxiety, and I have a lot of just really awkward, and I just like 90% of the time don't know what to do with myself.
Okay.
So I force myself to be extroverted
Yeah.
so that I don't regret not taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But like,
totally. I like that.
yeah, but like in my in like at home,
Yeah.
my perfect day is to literally just like cram myself in my room and be alone and write this music and kind of reflect. But yeah, I would definitely say I'm an extroverted introvert, technically. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, no,
But
it totally does.
a lot of performers though, like everybody expects them to be these huge kind of boisterous personalities, and a lot of
Right.
times it's something that kind of connects when you're on stage.
Yeah.
I would definitely say like stage me is way different than off stage me. If that makes any sense.
No, totally. I feel like it's just kind of like the adrenaline takes over and you
Yeah.
just become a performer.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Just something clicks on. I always say it's almost like, you know, athletes, same thing.
Yeah,
Whatever they get on the court, and it's like they turn into these beasts, and it's like then they go in their press conferences and they say 3 words and you're like, what?
exactly. Yeah,
It's really
that's
confusing, but yeah, it's a kind of universal thing.
yeah. Okay. So you said perfect day is just being up in the room doing some writing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. It is.
So with your writing, I know you've like you said, you've been writing all your life pretty much.
Mhm.
Uh, do you notice just like a difference? Like if you look at something you wrote when you were, I don't know, maybe like 18, and
Yeah.
then you think about something now, like do you see like big jumps in your
Like the
writing?
progression. You know, it's funny because I didn't really used to until people that have known me that long and were like, you know, comparing this song to this song. They're like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like how far, you know, your writing has come. But I think a
yeah,
lot of it is just this sounds kind of weird, but I think, you know, at like age 18 and even earlier than that, I think I just hadn't really settled into myself yet.
yeah.
I think it was in there, but I just was so anxious that I like couldn't just sit back and just let myself be myself.
Okay.
But no, it's for sure grown. Like it's definitely gotten a a lot better just in general. But
Yeah.
mostly, you know, writing wise, I think it's gotten better. But I see the most difference vocally is kind of how I
Okay.
I think my voice has changed a lot in the last 5 6 years.
Okay.
As far as like what I can do and things like that. But that's also a part of, you know, girls' voices change
Right.
for
Right. Okay.
but yeah, it's nice to go back and look sometimes at old videos and be like,
Yeah,
okay, you're doing something right here. Obviously, you're progressing. It's getting better,
right.
even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
Definitely. And so I know you kind of touched on vocals with the writing there.
Hmm.
For both, are you like, have you ever taken any like classes or lessons, or like, are you classically trained in singing or
Yeah,
writing, songwriting, or is that all?
not there's not really no, I've never been taught how to write
Okay.
song at least, but vocally, like vocal technique and stuff, I had taken lessons, like vocal lessons from the time I was 4.
Okay.
So that was like something that was always, I was constantly training that because I was in voice lessons, but then I was also doing like musical theater shows and things like that. I was in a
Yeah.
show choir, so that was constantly. I was definitely always training in dance and singing, but yeah, songwriting was something that no one knew how to teach me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there
Because
wasn't
it's
really anybody.
individual to like everyone.
Right? Yeah, there's just nobody at my disposal that could be like, hey,
Uh,
this is how you do this. Later
gotcha.
on in life, I had mentors, but
Right.
growing up, yeah, no, there was not.
Okay. Gotcha. And then in terms of like the new stuff that you're working on, or maybe stuff that you will be working on in the near future, have you thought about wanting to like collaborate with people? Or is it
Uh,
kind of just like you're doing your solo thing kind of right now and it's just gonna all be you for now?
well, okay, so here's the thing. Always open for collabs because that's
Okay.
always super cool to push yourself and all that kind of stuff. But my thing was what I promised myself for this first project.
Yeah.
I for a really long time I would go to these people's studios. I would go in at 8 o'clock at night and leave at 4 in the morning, kind of just waiting for a second to sing.
Okay.
And I sang a lot of backups
Yeah.
for, for records, for churches, for whatever. I was
Okay.
doing a lot of that kind of stuff. I even wrote for some people and stuff like that. But I decided this year, I was like, okay, listen, you have, taken your turn doing all these things for all these people, but this
Hmm.
is the time where you need to sit down and really kind of present to the world what your style is and who
Yeah.
you are without any kind of, extra things added in there.
Right.
So eventually, like, yeah, it'd be awesome to collab, and
Yeah.
I love doing it. But for now, this first project at least, I wanted to leave it really organic and just kind of more
Okay.
personal.
Yeah, no, totally. I like that.
But
I
yeah.
don't want to pry too much, but is there anything that you can tell us about this project that you've referred to? Like anything,
Um.
like what to expect in terms of maybe what it's gonna sound like, or
Yeah. Ooh, I don't even know how to explain it.
okay,
It's honestly it's a big step out of probably what people are used to hearing from me.
okay,
Um. I don't even know how to explain it really. It's kind of a mixture of pop and R&B, but then also it's like some of them are really raw. Some of them are,
okay,
yeah, I really can't add. I don't want to give too much, but
yeah,
it's I would say for sure it's very any music that you'll hear from me in the future now is going to be very intimate and
okay,
specific to me, where before it was like, the single I have out right now, Bright Lights, was
yeah,
co-wrote it with Sincerely Collins, and it's a really cool song, but it wasn't as, you know as personal, obviously, because it was a co-write.
right,
So yeah, my goal was just to really like sit down with myself and be like, what do you want to talk about? Like, what do you need to say to the world right now? And
wow,
that was it.
awesome. Yeah, I like that. I think, yeah, it's like you said, you've done a lot for others and everything, but it's time for the world to get to know you. And
Right. Yeah.
I know I'm excited. I mean, just
Oh,
thinking
great.
of all the covers and videos that uh, I've seen of you and I've heard of you. It's years making, so I'm excited to
Yeah,
see the real you come out. And you
thanks.
said the goal is this year, the end of this year.
I don't want to give any dates yet because they always
Okay,
can shift. But just yeah, soon, hopefully.
soon hopefully. Okay, all right. Well, we're all excited. I mean, I know I'm excited, and as soon as we get some information, I know I'll be checking it out, and
For sure.
I'm excited.
Yay.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you for
thank you.
always supporting me at all. It
Yeah, of
means
course. Of course. Yeah, and thank you for coming on today and talking, sharing a little about your life, your music, everything that's going on. I think, like I've said a lot of times, you have a very bright future ahead of you, and I'm excited to sit back and watch it and just, see all the crazy things that you accomplish.
that's
It's
so
gonna be
sweet.
crazy.
Ugh,
2019 is gonna be great, but just
yeah,
like 2020 and like every
right.
year, it's gonna keep climbing, and it's
Oh my
gonna be
gosh.
better and better. So, thank you for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you. You're such a light. I can't even.
Well, thank you, and keep on doing your thing. Like I said, I truly think that we're gonna see inspiring and impacting a lot of the younger generation. So,
Yeah.
keep on being your authentic self. Showing all sides of just what you do, but also who you are as a person. I think that everyone loves to see it, and I'm excited to see more of it and more of your journey.
Thanks. Well, I hope I can inspire other people to do the same because I know it's not easy to put yourself out there for, people to see and kind of judge, especially when you're not as outgoing as everybody thinks you are.
Totally.
So, yeah, I just hope, that it can just start kind of a spark in other people and from there grow their lives too.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. And
Yeah.
then social media, YouTube, is it
Yes,
all
everything is all my social media is at I am Ryli and it's spelled Ryli.
okay?
And YouTube is Ryli Ray. So youtube.com/Ryli Ray.
All right, awesome. Well, people, if you're hearing this, go give her a follow. Go show some support and some love.
Oh,
Riley's an awesome person, and I'm excited for you all to see what she does. It's gonna be some
thanks.
big things.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, Riley.
Yay, have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye.